I hope you managed to see the draws for the FA Cup semi-final and the Champions League quarter-final and semi-final yesterday. If you didn't, there's a spoiler coming up. Hello and welcome to episode 45 of Irons in the Fire as we try and make West Ham good and great again. My name's Mark and on today's episode we have for you two games. First up, we're back in the Premier League. It's match day 31 in the Premier League as I think we travel to Leeds United. Yes, we do. We go to Elland Road for the Premier League game against Leeds. And then it's back to the London Stadium for the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final against AC Milan. We need to get a decent result to take to Italy for the second leg, of course. So if you didn't see yesterday's episode, well, a short episode where we did all the draws, I suggest you pause now, go back and have a look at it, maybe. It's only about 10-15 minutes at the most. So go and have a look at that and then come back and join me. Just to say, if you do enjoy today's episode, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up. Subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of the series so far and what you'd like me to do next. And as I think I said at the end of yesterday's episode, we do need to get your nod to carry on with this series. I'm thinking we possibly call it quits at the end of next season. So finish this season, we'll do next season and then call it quits. That's provided we don't win the Champions League this season. If we do, then we'll stop. And we'll have a new series coming out. But just let me know what your thoughts on it are. Your comments are always helpful as well. The other thing just to mention is if you want to follow whatever's going on this channel, the best way of doing it is to follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at JustOffsideFM. Since you were last with us, we've played one game, just the one game. That game against Aston Villa keeps our run going. We've not lost in the Premier League in 7 matches. I think last time we lost in the Premier League was to Manchester City right at the end of last year. So we've not lost in the Premier League so far, touch wood, this calendar year, 2025. And obviously a couple of losses in the Carabao Cup against Arsenal in the first leg. And then obviously the Carabao Cup final against Manchester United. But outside of that, we've had a pretty decent run. And we're hoping that form continues going on into the end of the season here as we enter the last couple of months of the season, which includes, of course, today's game against Leeds. But that match that we did win between was against Aston Villa. Yeah, we got off to a reasonable start. 34 minutes. Tammy Abraham scored this one. Kamara for Aston Villa. It's a poor ball. And Tammy Abraham just getting his toe to it. Took it through the defender. Just very calm and collected. Put it away. Tammy Abraham at his best. So 1-0. 10 minutes later, though, Aston Villa had got it equal at half-time. Douglas Lewis taking the corner. It was headed back out. Firmino tried to get it back in. Powell found Douglas Lewis in space on the edge of the area and he just basically put it away in the top corner. 1-1 then at half time, and it took us all the way down to 78 minutes before we got noses in front again. Emerson with a short corner to Kudos. Kudos crosses this ball deep. Zuma, goalkeeper making a right howler of it, really, and it fell onto Zuma's head. And Zuma, just all he had to do was just bob it into the back of the net. A minute later, we rounded off what was going to be a win. Tammy Abraham getting his second of the game. Upamecano's free kick. Tammy Abraham in space in the thing, just basically slotted it into the side netting. And 3-1, the final score. 14 shots, 7 on target, 2.01 and 38% possession. Not good in the possession stakes. They had 17 shots, 6 on target, so they did reasonably well, just not quite as clinical as us. and 62% of the possession. That's how that ended up. And so the table looks like this. There are some other games have been played. We were in second, but Arsenal have played Manchester United and beaten them, which has one or two things. Means that we can still pass Arsenal, provided we win our game in hand. So we can catch them up. The other thing to mention is that obviously with Manchester United losing to Arsenal, their form is a bit poor at the minute. They go further away on points. They do still have a game in hand over us, so assuming that, but they would still, even if they won that game in hand, would be 10 points adrift of us, which is rather interesting at the moment. We're cementing ourselves into the Champions League places for next season. The other thing to mention, of course, is Manchester City have had a bit of a rugged do. They've lost 2 of their last 5, and we have 2 games in hand over them. So 6 points would take us up to 73 points if we win those 2 games in hand over Manchester City, which means that we would just be 2 points, just 2 points behind them. So we just need to keep going, because this little run of form that we've had is really sort of pushing on. It's putting the pressure on them to make mistakes. So we just need to keep chugging away is probably the thing that we need to do. If you remember, Parisi took an injury in the last episode, the last proper episode, with a fractured wrist. He's going to be out for just one more day. I don't think he'll make today's match, but he should be back for the Milan match, all being well. I mean, it's a wrist and not anything else, so hopefully we just need to be very careful of him. The only other problem is Soufal. He's got a pulled abdominal muscle. He's going to be out for a week to 2 weeks, which is not really the best, but we'll do our best to cope like we did with Parisi. The good thing with Parisi was that it was during the international break, most of that anyway. So a reasonably full quota of games today, which means we still will have a game in hand over Arsenal, who play Wolves. Manchester United, we've already mentioned. Aston Villa, I think, was the other side in and around that top bit there. Oh no, sorry, Liverpool just tucked in behind us. They're a point behind us now, but we do have 2 games in hand over them. Liverpool today are playing Aston Villa away from home. Right, without any more to do, let's get on with the first game of the episode. It's a trip to Ellen Road to face Leeds United. We have played Leeds United once in this series. It was a 2-0 win at the London Stadium earlier in the season. Jarrard Bowen and James Ward-Prowse giving us a 2-0 lead. Let's go and see if we can get a result today against Leeds to keep the pressure up on the top. And in news, the Manchester City have beaten Everton 2-1 in the early game of the day. But this is the side that faces Leeds in this Premier League match day 31. Mazulia in goal then. Emerson, Zuma, Todibo, Wagnerman are our defensive line. Souček, Upamecano and Kahera are in midfield. Kamada sits behind Kudos and Watkins up front. On the bench, Ariola, Friedel, Parisi, Lucas Paqueta, Samadic, Ward-Prowse, Shalanga, Bowen and Abraham. And here we are at Ellen Road. Leeds have just won 1 of their last 5 games, losing the other 4 games. And we are on a reasonable run, of course. Just drawn 1 in our last 5. We are currently 3rd on 67 points. Leeds 9th on 42. Rudak with a goal kick. 12, nearly 13 minutes on the clock, but Kahera brings that down nicely. Todibo out to Wagnerman, who scored his first goal for us in the last full episode, I think it was. But he's given that ball away. It was very sort of lackluster. And Kahera steps in and wins that ball back. He's got Kamada inside him. Kamada now crosses it into the area. Kudos crosses it in, and it's 1-0 after 14 minutes. It was all so simple, really, in the end, all because Cahera stepped in, saw this ball back to Harrison. Wagnerman was marking. It was a poor ball by Bassi. Really didn't watch Cahera. And Cahera just crossed that in. Kamada brings it into the area, just crosses it in, and Kudos taps away. Question whether he was offside or not. He's being played on, which suggests there is a defender over here somewhere, over on the right-hand side. But, well, in fact, no. Because Kamada has actually played that ball backwards. He's behind him when he plays the ball. Wagnerman with a long throw, throws it in. It's headed on. Oh, just over the top by Todibo. An offside anyway. See it again. Who was it that... it was either Zuma, I think, that headed it on. Zuma or Souček headed it on. A little foray of highlights, but no more in this first half. 7 shots, 3 on target, 1.24, 61% of the possession against their 2 shots, just 1 on target, 0.44 and 39% of the possession. At half time, we have a very slender lead of 1-0. Bassi has been taken off by Leeds. They have a throw in, and it's a short throw in. It's crossed deep. Oh, Neon Harrison got his header away, and they equalise after 51 minutes. And I'm not sure what we were doing there. Sleeping. Warrants a Barre in a minute. Just didn't really defend this at all. It was chipped across, and I think it was Todibo. No, it's Wagnerman, and he got the better of Wagnerman. And with 65 minutes, needs 66 on the clock, making one change at this juncture of time. Souček is tiring though, so he's not got long, I don't think. We've had a bit of a shuffle round as well. We've taken off Thilo Carrera and brought on Lucas Paqueta, who has done stuff. He's turned games around the last couple of times that he's come on as substitute. The other thing we've done is we've had a bit of a change around. Upamecano dropping into the defensive line alongside Todibo. Zuma coming out of that defensive line and moving into that central midfield role. Just see if we can get a bit of impetus from midfield. And we're making 2 more changes on 74 minutes. We have taken off Thomas Souček, as we said. He was tiring. He's had a good game. James Ward-Prowse comes on to replace him. And the other change we've made is up front. Ollie Watkins has come off, and we've replaced him with Tammy Abraham. Bostilly with a throw-in to Mark Rocker. And Woba for Leeds, back to Rodak. And he's chipped that out. Dreamer on that far side. And it's sort of... Oh, poor ball through. Emerson picks it up. Emerson to Upamecano. Upamecano. Ward-Prowse. Oh, seems very stodgy at the moment. Not a usual quick impetus. Through to Ward-Prowse. Through the lines. Finding gaps. Cuts this inside. He's got Kamada there. Kamada has tackled. And it's all a bit sort of sloppy. Kudos, though, picks the ball up. He's come back for it. Emerson. Emerson now. Emerson into the air. Across it in. Kudos has a shot, but it's blocked. And Zuma brings it down. But they've got a break on now. And we've got to be careful here. Somerville comes forward with it. And he's crossed it in, but it's a poor ball, really. And Mazulia tidies up. This was the opportunity that Kudos had. Crossed in by Emerson. Kudos, and blocked by the defender. And with 83 minutes on the clock, making our final 2 changes, Schlanger comes on in place of Zuma, who's tiring out there. Ward-Prowse moving into that ball-winning midfielder role. And we've also brought on, coming back from injury, Parisi on the left-hand side. He's replaced the tiring Emerson. Woba with a free kick. 84 minutes on the clock. And Tammy Abraham cutting that out. Kamada, Abraham to Kudos. Kudos is through. Kudos misses. And an opportunity goes begging. And we've dropped points. And that's not good. In our quest to keep up with Manchester City, we've given an advantage back to them. Drawn for the first time for some time. We've not lost though, but that's poor. Jack Harrison getting that goal back after 51. We were a bit lacklustre today. 13 shots, 6 on target, 2.32. Should have really won that. 56% of possession. They have 5 shots, 3 on target, 0.59, and 44% of the possession. Not the best day at the office. Well, it wasn't our best day at the office, but luckily some of the other sides have not been a great deal better, to be fair. Liverpool, who were tucked behind us, remain 2 games in hand over them. They are a point behind us, which means with those 2 games we would be, I think, 7 points behind them. Yeah. 7 points in front of them if we were to win those 2 games in hand over them. They drew 1-1 with Aston Villa. As I said earlier, Manchester City beating Everton 2-1 in that early game, which means that with our game in hand or games in hand over them, if we were now to win those both those games in hand, it would mean that we would still be 4 points adrift of them. So, and the games are running out, of course. Arsenal drawing 0-0 with Wolves, which means they don't pull away from us, which does mean that the draw today does, again, with the game in hand over them, it does mean that we could get back into second place if we were to win that game in hand. And I've got a feeling one of the games in hand is against Manchester United, which might not be easy. Norwich beating Bournemouth 3-0 and Tottenham beating Brighton 4-1. Shakes it up a little bit, but it leaves it looking like this. Manchester City top on 78, then come Arsenal on 71. We're in third on 68. Then Liverpool taking up the last of the Champions League places with 67 points. 10-point gap down to Manchester United in fifth. Aston Villa are in sixth. Manchester United didn't say that they had beat Newcastle by 4 goals to 2. Aston Villa taking the large European place up on 55 points, and then a 7-point gap down to Crystal Palace, who are in 7th place on 48. Wolves, Burnley and Brighton in the drop zone, and they are a little bit adrift as it stands at the moment. Wolves 7 points adrift, Burnley 10 points adrift, and Brighton are 12 points adrift. So a little bit of catching up to do down there if they are to survive and not drop down into the Championship for next season. Right, we have, I think it's about 4 days down to the game against Milan in the Champions League quarter-final first leg. I'll come back with some news ahead of that game. Well, in the Tuesday games, ahead of our Wednesday games, Liverpool have beaten Barcelona by 3 goals to 2. So they take that slender lead to Barcelona for the second leg. Real Madrid have beaten Bayern Munich by 2 goals to 0. So they likewise take a slight lead, a better lead away to Germany. So that's how those games have gone. Today, of course, we have Inter playing Paris Saint-Germain and ourselves playing Milan. So that's how it falls out. Let's go and see the team that will face AC Milan for this Champions League quarter-final first leg. And the team to face AC Milan looks just like this. Mazzulia continues in goal. Parisi, Todibo, Upamecano and Wagnerman are our defensive line. Schlager, Ward-Prowse and Zuma make up the midfield. Samadic sits behind Bowen and Abraham up front. Areola, Emerson, Paqueta, Watkins, Kahera, Kamada, Kudos, Scholes, Fernels, Marshall, Clayton and Archibald make up the bench. I'm not too sure about Marshall, actually. Marshall, we should possibly replace him with somebody else. I'm thinking possibly Souček is out suspended. I hadn't realised that. Souček is suspended. I've forgotten all about him. Which is probably why we're missing a player. I'm thinking of actually putting Lewis Orfield in place of Marshall. That's what we'll do. That's the team then that faces AC Milan in this Champions League quarter-final first leg. So here we are back at the London Stadium for this Champions League match, playing our usual formation. And AC Milan playing a 4-3-3 with the defensive midfielder. Playing Loftus-Cheek in midfield. As the teams come out on the pitch, AC Milan playing in white today. Just 2 minutes on the clock, and we have a free kick. Parisi picking that ball up. Mbakano to Todibo. Todibo to Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse back to Todibo. Parisi. Parisi comes forward. Inside to Xavier. Xavier's poor ball has given possession away. As we try and keep them at bay. And moving around nicely. Cut out by Wagnerman. He saw that and he read it well. Crosses this ball in. It's a goal. Samadic, his 14th goal of the season. And on 3 minutes, we take an early lead against AC Milan. Wagnerman winning that ball. And from that point, it was daggers drawn and Samadic getting on the end of it. We have a corner now, 14 minutes on the clock. It's Samadic with the corner. It's going to be an in-swinger. Swung into the near post. Nobody there. Zuma missed out on it. Zuma picks up the tidies up. Samadic. Abraham straight to the goalkeeper. I think he was offside anyway. Well defended by AC Milan. Just went fractionally early, Abraham. Otherwise... Free kick now, just outside the area. Ward-Prowse. Can he get this round the wall and into the back of the net? No, he can't. It's saved. And it's cleared as well. Lulu with a throw-in to Randiers. And giving back in there a lot of space there. And half-time comes. 8 shots, 2 on target. 1.38 on the XG, 60% of the possession. Milan have had 2 shots, none on target, 0.22, 40% of the possession. I think they would probably be slightly more happier. I'd like a second goal just to give us a little bit of breathing space and a bigger cushion going to Italy. Ward-Prowse with a corner, in-swinger, it's a goal! Upamecano scores his first goal of the season on 47 minutes, and what a time to score it. And his debut goal for West Ham as well, I think. And Maganan was on the floor. Samadic with a free kick. It's swung in, looking for Abraham, I think. Wagnerman, can he get this ball in? He's been brought down, and VAR will look at that, and I think it's going to be a penalty. As I've said before, I've not seen any of these not given yet when they're like that. So it's going to be a penalty for sure. Yep. And we could take a 3-0 lead at this point in time. Who's going to take the penalty? It's Ward-Prowse. And he sent the goal. Goalkeeper was nearly going to go the wrong way. And his 6th goal of the season. And 3-0 after 57 minutes. We'll see it again. Goalkeeper's sort of jumped to the right. Magnan then decided, no, he's going to put it left. They have a corner. 63 on the clock. Banneker Going to be an outswinger. Swung in. It's cleared. Upper Meccano. Oh! And Leo, that is one heck of a goal. And they've got a goal back. 64 minutes on the clock. And 3-0 lead is quite ample to go away with. But, that was really just rifled in the top. And a good goal. And with 65 minutes on the clock, making two changes. Zuma has come off and Kahera has come on. We've also replaced Gerard Bowen up front with Mohamed Kudus. And with 77 minutes on the clock, we're making two more changes. Emerson comes on and replaces the tiring Wagnerman on that right-hand side. And we've also taken off Tammy Abraham up front and brought on Ollie Watkins. They have a throw-in on that far side. Kalou. Pulisic. Oh, no. Hernandez gets their second, and we're only going to take a one-goal lead. At one time, it looked like a three-goal lead, and we've capitulated, and this is not going to get us through to the semi-finals. They have a free kick now, and if they get back to 3-3, we are done for. Kudos. Samadic, we need to get a goal. Oh, giving the ball away. Todibo through to Mazulia. Mazulia kicks it out wide, but it's given the ball away. Rice, Mateus Rice and Hernandez cross it in the area, but straight into the arms of Mazulia. Mazulia rolls it out to Parisi on that right side. We have one more throw of the dice, I think, if my memory serves me right. Samadic comes forward. Kudos puts it away. 11th goal of the season. And we've got a 2-goal cushion again. Thank goodness for that. Second minute of injury time of 5 being played. Samadic. Nice through ball to Kudos. Kudos, who's come on as substitute. Actually, the goalkeeper deflected that in. And having just got that fourth goal, we've taken off Shalanga and we brought on Paqueta just for the last couple of minutes, hopefully to see the game out, but maybe just to get another goal. 3-goal cushion would be splendid. They have a free kick though. Pulisic through, it's headed on. Oh, get rid of it. Lazari back into the area, it's crossed deep, but Mazzulli is under the crossbar, picks that off. 4th minute of 5 added on. Mazulia, they're going running upfield. And that ball aimlessly. And they've got it back. Randiers. And he's going to cross this in. Deep. Headed away. Paqueta, can we break away now? Paqueta, fresh legs. Watkins is there. Watkins. Kahera to Kudos. Kudos! He's gone. Oh, dear. Come off the post, I think. Kahera. Back into Samadic. She's not dead. Ward-Prowse, what's he going to do? Paqueta! Oof, just wide. Definitely going for it. And, well, this was probably the best chance. Kudos off the post, got the gate, beat the goalkeeper. Magnum with the goal kick. It's in, it's headed down. Kahera to Samadic, still alive. Paqueta. Finds Emerson into the area. Come on, boy. Inside. Watkins cuts it back. Yes! And Lucas Paqueta, the saviour of us. He's given us a 3-goal lead again. 5-2 on the night. And it's at the death. We are in the 6th minute of 5 added on. If that makes sense to you, I don't know what does. But goodness me, have we absolutely lovely. Ended up with 7 minutes of added time. And goodness me, we got down to a 1-goal lead and then opened it up again to a 3-goal lead. In injury time, 2 goals, a goal from Kudos and a goal from Paqueta, both substitutes. And that's what I like my substitutes to do. Come on and change the game. And Paqueta came on with just a couple of minutes to play. And look how he had an influence on that game. He is in absolute form at the moment. 18 shots, 8 on target, 3.58 on the XG, 52% of the possession. They had 9 shots, 4 on target, 0.67, 48% of the possession. I think we can be reasonably happy. Whether 3 goals is enough going to Milan, to the San Siro, join me on the next episode. We'll find out. Well, after a lacklustre result against Leeds in our first game of the episode, we've excelled ourselves in this one, and it looked a bit dire after 87 minutes when Hernandez got their second to make it 3-2. But we weren't anticipating 2 of our substitutes, Kudos and Paqueta, to make amends in that injury time. And, well, what can you say? The other game of the day, Inter have drawn 1-1 with Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain will be happy with that. They had the lead after 34 minutes, Inter getting the equaliser after 69. But as it is, going back to Paris, you would like to favour Paris Saint-Germain. That is for sure. But a decent lead to take to Milan for us. We'll see in the next episode whether that is enough or not. Right, we're going to play Leicester offline. And in the Premier League Matchday 32, a must-win game, really, if we are to keep up the pressure at the top of the table. And then we're going to come back for another one of those episodes. It's the Champions League quarter-final, second leg. And then we have the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley against Manchester United, the team that we beat last season, because the games that we've played both in the Carabao Cup final and the FA Cup final last year were both extra time games as well. So who knows? That could be a bit of a rough ride, to say the least. And we got, obviously, with 3 games in very quick succession here, and big games at that, it's not going to be an easy thing. And then we've got to look forward to our run-in. We'll see how we go. 1 foot in the semi-final as it stands of the Champions League. As it stands at the moment, we'll have to see whether we do actually conclude that and progress in the next episode. Please join me for that. If you've enjoyed today's episode, though, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Keeps you up to date with all future episodes of Irons in the Fire and our other series, bottom to the top. If you've not been watching that, go and have a look. New episodes of Irons in the Fire are released every Monday and Thursday at 4:15 p.m. And the best way of keeping up to date what's happening on this channel when everything's released, all the rest of it, is to follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at JustOffsideFM. Hope to see you for the next episode. It will be episode 46. It's out on Monday. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Until next time, it's goodbye.